Okay.
Is the sound on?
It is. This time. Well, welcome everybody. Scott Williams, for those of you that don't know me, Inner Journey Healing Arts Center in Niles. And this is class 2 of Transform 365. And guest speaker today is Cindy Cohen from C2 Your Health. Suzanna Tabla from Tabletop to Tabla. This time. I'm going to let Suzanna talk next.
Well, welcome everybody. Scott Williams, for those of you that don't know me, Inner Journey Healing Arts Center in Niles. And this is class 2 of Transform 365.
Should I go?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Welcome everybody in our webinar and everyone who was here today now. Actually, I'm just asking you to hold your questions to the end because we are taping it. And also if you turn your cell phones down, I appreciate that too. And you're going to be able to see this on the webinar tabletop. And I'd like
replays.
The replays.
All
yes.
the replays will be.
Thank you, Scott. I want to introduce Cindy Cohen. She's a registered nurse with 35 years experience. And she's done from bedside to CEO of a hospital, health coach, and wellness consultant. She's the guiding force behind the C2 Your Health team. And she's been helping others find their way to improve personal and business wellness. C2 Your Health LLC also promotes the annual Expo for Women. So how about if we welcome Cindy? Thank you.
Well, thanks so much for having me. Just a quick tour around your handouts for those of you that are here at our seminar. This first page is a little questionnaire to kind of help you think about how you're doing with your eating, and also lets us know about your interests. There's a place for your name and telephone number and email, and also let us know how you'd like to know if they're for future seminars. We also have a texting service, so if you'd like to be notified by text, you need to let us know on that form. Also, during the seminar, we want you to think about one simple change that you can make starting today. So we have a worksheet for you here to kind of start thinking about that. And at the end, we're going to have a drawing, and we're going to ask you to write your one simple change on the little registration sheet. And then we are going to collect them up and draw for a gift. So we kind of help you make that decision. And then the last sheet we have here is an order form. And then on the back of the order form are the benefits of participating in the Transform 30 program. So that's kind of your little tour. So we'll go ahead and get started. We have a little portable PowerPoint here, and for those who are watching on the webinar, you don't really need to see the PowerPoint. It's just a way for me to kind of keep track of what I'm talking about. So the program we're doing is Transform 365 Today, which encompasses the Transform 30 Lifestyle Challenge. So the first thing we'd like you to think about is what matters most to you. This is very important when you're going to make any kind of lifestyle change or transformation, to be thinking about what in your life is missing that you can't enjoy or have because of your health situation. So let's talk about the history of dieting, because this is a diet program, and but we're hoping it's a diet program that you'll do for the rest of your life because it'll be healthy eating. So this is just a short list of some of the different diets that have been on the market for as long as I can remember. So there's the food combining diets, where we combine different types of foods. There were the low-fat diets and the high-fat diets and the cholesterol diets, and there were also the diets that went with your blood type, and there were all kinds of different diets that's been on the market. And really, up until this point, none of those diets have really lasted long term. In other words, you go on the diet, and then you go off of the diet, and then you gain the weight back, and then you go on the diet, and go off the diet and gain the weight back, and then sometimes you go on the diet and you stay on, and then you don't lose any weight at all, and then you lower your calories to stay on the diet, and It's kind of a big cycle. So what we're going to do is try to help you get off of that cycle. So we want to talk about things that we already know. So we already know that our environment is heavily polluted and has lots of toxins. There's toxins in the air we breathe. There's a town close by that regularly smells like dog food. It's a methane plant, so it's emitting a lot of toxic chemicals into the air. And the residents of that city complained, and so they put a new chemical on top of that one so it wouldn't smell. So now 2 toxins are being emitted into the air. That's not a great solution. Then we also have neighboring towns and cities where the water is a problem, that you can't drink the water because it's contaminated, whole subdivisions that you can't drink water there, and there's problems with the wells and the city water. And then there's also problems with our plants, that they're putting a lot of herbicides and pesticides on the plants that they never used to put on, and they think that we're eating 50 times more pesticides and herbicides now than we ever did 50 years ago. So there's a lot of toxins going on. As a matter of fact, there's an estimation that every day we're either breathing or drinking or eating up to 700 different toxic things. So our body is constantly being exposed to the toxins. And Dr. Mitra Ray said that we have as much fat on our body as we need to store the amount of toxins that we're carrying. So really, if you think about it, if you have a lot of heaviness, we're thinking that's more as a result of your toxic exposure than it is to the actual amount or kinds of foods that you're eating. So that brings us to the Transform 30 program. And what the Transform 30 program is, it's cleansing. So it cleanses your body of the toxins. Then through this process of natural, healthy cleansing, your body automatically loses weight because you don't need that extra weight on there as storage. And then that creates rejuvenation. And this is how the program works. So this is you here, or me, all toxined up. And then you go on a diet. So when you go on a diet, there's a couple things that happen. Sometimes you eat a lot of diet foods, like you drink foods with artificial sweeteners. Sometimes you go to the grocery store and buy out of the freezer lean cuisines or something all prepared for you to make it easy. And all of those foods are loaded with toxins and chemicals that your body can't recognize. So what happens is when you go on a diet, you're actually increasing your toxic load. So then what happens is your body gets to a certain point where what we like to think of it as body stabilization. Like we've gone on a big, now we're not losing the weight anymore, so we say we've stabilized. But what's really happening is your body is now starting to say, wait a second, we have too many toxins on board. We got to get these out of here. It's going to hurt us because it's too close to the organs. So your body automatically starts gaining weight. And you may have experienced this because I've had a lot of people say to me, well, I'm eating what I always ate, but I'm starting to gain the weight back, and I don't know what to do. So that's really your body trying to rebalance itself and make it more healthy. And so it's got to get the toxins away from the organs. So remember, your body fat is your storage. So your body says, well, we need to create some storage and get it away from the organs. So what happens is you actually create more storage than you started because you have more toxins on board than you started. And that's why everybody gains more weight than when they started dieting. So with the Transform 30 program is this, is you have your body right here all toxined up. And then what happens is you naturally detoxify your body with fruits and vegetables, which causes them to exit your system naturally. The weight reduces because you don't need that extra fat to carry all those toxins. And your body continues to rejuvenate and stay at a healthy state, so you never gain the weight back. That sounds like a plan, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. So then the question becomes is, what are you willing to do for 30 days to make this happen? And the founder of Transform 30 says you can do anything for 30 days. So let's take a look at what those anythings are. So this is a list of all the components of the program. So what we're going to do is I'll tell you what they all are so you know, and I'll talk about the ones we're going to go over today. So the first component is to eat real food. So that's the first thing, and we're going to cover what that is. And included in that, we encourage you to take Juice Plus because Juice Plus is real food. The second thing we're going to ask you to do is drink water. Seems like a small request, but a lot of people don't drink a lot of water, and you want to drink enough water to where your urine is clear. The third thing is to add exercise, at least 30 minutes a day. Fourth, 0 wheat. So that means like all the bread and pasta, wheat items that you eat. We don't want you to eat any of those for 30 days. Then no dairy. We don't want you to eat any of those. We want you to breathe. Sounds silly, I know, but really we spend most of the day panting. And so we need to remember to take a deep breath and let the air out. Do it. You can all do it now for seconds. Breathe in really deep and breathe out. And if you do that a couple times, your head will feel very lightheaded. That's all the oxygen flooding your brain. So I guess that's a natural high. So then we want you to get a good night's sleep. That's really important because your body heals itself at night. We want you to assist your digestion by eating before 6 o'clock at night and also all throughout the day. And then we want you to balance the number of calories that you eat with the amount of activity that you're doing. So today we're going to talk about eating real food. We're going to talk about eliminating dairy and why that's important. And then to assist your digestion. Those are the 3 things we're going to talk about. So the first thing is eating real food. So then the question is, what's real food? So that's the first, because everyone thinks they're eating food. You know, I mean, you go to the grocery store, you buy food, but really it's not all really food. It just has an appearance of food. So real food is wholesome and it's simple, unprocessed, and it's whole food. That's what real food is. So think about it. If you were to look out the window and see it growing on a tree or out of the ground, that's pretty safe. Or maybe walking around, little legs and some eyes, or swimming. Real food supports health and adds to the quality of life. So that's what real food does. And all other foods just support life. So you can live on processed foods. I mean, a lot of people are doing it, but it's not giving you the quality of life that you want. So that's very important. It's sort of like gas for your car. You know, you can drive a car on crappy gas and never do any maintenance, and it will drive a long time before it falls apart, right? And then it needs a lot of repair work because you didn't do regular maintenance. Well, for us, it's the same, but we're the premium. We want to be the premium car where you take care of it, maintenance it, give it good gas, and then it lasts forever. So that's what we want. So why is real food important? Well, real food is important because it supports the body organs. Remember, it makes you healthier. It cleanses and detoxifies. Real food supports sustainable weight loss. So as long as you're eating real food, you'll lose weight. And then real food also is anti-aging, and it reduces disease. So when you think about that's what disease is where your body is not at ease, it's in some kind of conflict. So the real food is the rebalancing and the rejuvenating part of eating. And what I like to think of it as is the fruits are like and the vegetables are like the scrub brush. So when you eat fruits and vegetables, you're scrubbing your body clean, getting all the toxins out. So then the next question is, well, how much should I eat, right? So the USDA, the government, helps us with this. And what they tell us is we should eat 7 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. That's how much we should be eating. And they also make a calorie recommendation, which is for men 2,500, for women 2,000, for children under 7 and older, 1,400. And if you're active, like you are, have to do heavy exercise, then you want to eat 2,000 to 2,800. So there's actually a formula that our government has given us to help us decide how much and what to eat. And if you look at their sort of the new pyramid, which is now a plate, right here you'll see 3/4 of it is food. So you can see fruits and vegetables and grains are food, plant food, right? And then the protein is just a quarter. And actually the American Heart Association says that your meat, like that we eat, like chicken, fish, meat, is really a condiment. So it should be that size of a portion. So a condiment is like a pickle. That's a condiment. So to kind of give you an idea of how much meat you should be eating in a day would be the size of maybe a couple pickles. So that gives you an idea. And then dairy is totally off the plate because that's not a huge component of our food. So really they want you to be eating 3/4 plants. Something about. So what happens when we don't eat real food? So actually we have this happening right now because we eat so many processed foods in our diets now, that we can actually see what's happening. We're living. So 75% of all chronic diseases are preventable. So just short of going to the emergency room in a car accident, if you have a heart attack or cancer, that is all potentially preventable, and it can be prevented by lifestyle choices. So it's kind of something to think about, especially when you think about in adults, cancer is in 1 in 3 women, and it also appears in 1 in 2 men. And heart disease is 1 in 3, and diabetes is going to be 1 in 3 by 2015. And 16 million people have chronic pain. So if you think about all those things are potentially preventable. And in children, which is very disturbing because the adults are in charge of the children. And that's kind of that's what we do. Which means that the choices that adults are making for their children are potentially equally as dangerous. By 12, children are starting to develop hardening of the arteries. 1/3 of them are obese. 50% of them born after the year 2000 will be developing diabetes, and 5% of them take prescription drugs. So it's you can see it's problematic. And then a lot of people like to know, like, how are they doing compared to everybody else, you know? So we kind of like to know, well, maybe we're not as bad as everybody else, or maybe we're better than everyone else. I'd like to know that. So here's the average of how people are doing. So the average American consumes between 3,800 and 4,000 calories a day. So remember, the recommendation is 2,000. And if you spend a lot of time dieting and you're worried about your weight, you're probably eating very low number of calories, which will also cause you to gain weight. So, I mean, that's a lot of calories. The average American gets a total of just 3 servings of fruits and vegetables every week. So remember, the government recommends 7 to 13. Thanks. The average American eats 50% of all their meals at restaurants. And the average calories in a restaurant that you eat is 836 calories. So if you're eating a couple of restaurant meals a day, you can kind of see how you could quickly get to that 3,800. And every day, 1 in 4 families are eating in a restaurant. So that's really, it's a lot of people. And the American Restaurant Association says that we're eating now half of all our meals at a restaurant. So you could see how those calories could really add up. So how are your poor eating habits make you feel? So you may be thinking, well, you know, I'm just a little overweight, it's not such a big deal, you know, and we don't know if we have cancer or heart disease generally before it actually happens. So we like to think we're healthy. That's why everybody tells me I'm healthy. So this is how you know you're maybe not so healthy, is you feel constantly run down. You're tired, sleepy, low energy. You have a lot of digestive upset, like you burping and belching, gas, bloating. Constipation is also a sign of poor food eating habits. Body aches and pains, you know, where people hear, oh, my back, I slept bad, I'm, you know, achy, waking up in the morning. Those are Those are poor, that's directly related to poor food choices. Headaches, sick, just feel sick. You know, a lot of people, they just say, I'm sick, I'm tired, I just don't feel good. Unfocused, like you can't think straight, you're, you know, kind of feel cloudy in there. Stressed, like if you feel stressed, you can be stressed emotionally from your dietary habits. You can also feel stressed by not getting enough sleep. So if you're tired, down, and sleepy, that's a stressor right there from just being that way. And then, of course, being overweight is also a sign of poor eating habits. So we're pretty overloaded. I mean, I think most people fall into one of those areas. So this is where Juice Plus comes in. Juice Plus is real food, and it bridges the gap between what we are currently eating and what we should be eating. And Juice Plus is a mixture of all these different fruits and vegetables. You're getting, in this right here, over 20 different fruits and vegetables every single day in your body, streaming through your blood, helping heal and repair and detoxify your body. Then we have,
Enzyme rich.
huh?
Enzyme rich. Enzyme rich. It's the word.
I'm sorry.
They're enzyme rich.
Oh, and enzyme rich. Oh, yes,
It's
thank you.
important.
They're enzyme rich, which means, well, they're real food, which means that all the enzymes that help you be healthy are inside of the Juice Plus 2. So it's actually real food. And you know that it's real food because on the food label, the government says it is. It doesn't say nutrition facts. It says, it doesn't say supplement facts. It says nutrition facts, which is the same thing it says at the grocery store when you get a can of tomatoes or a can of corn. It says the same type of thing, which means that the government says it's really food. And when you read the food label, it says there's food in there too. So you can take a look at that. And then when you open the capsules, you can see that there's little powders in there. So they actually take the fruit and vegetables and dehydrate it down, preserving the enzymes into a little powder. So you're getting a wide variety of fruits and vegetables every day. Juice Plus also has a product called Juice Plus Complete, which is a protein powder. And it is a soy protein that's very healthy. It's non-GMO. They take the soybeans and they crush them down and put water over them, and it turns it into like a soy milk mixture. And the reason why that's important is I know a lot of people are worried about soy, but they don't need to worry about it as long as it's in a food form, just when it's in an isolated form like a vitamin. The Juice Plus Complete also is filled with ancient grains and different fruits and vegetables than are in the Juice Plus capsules. So together you're getting like over 50 different fruits and vegetables and whole grains in your body every day. Yeah, I said, and it's non-GMO. So this is a graph right here that shows you how when you drink the Juice Plus Complete, which is the soy protein drink, it lowers your glycemic index. And your glycemic index is connected to diabetes, and it's also connected to how hungry you are. So when people drink the Complete, it actually reduces their hunger, so you feel more full, and it helps you make better decisions about your food because you're not starving. So Juice Plus whole food is safe, and this is really important because lately in the news, a lot of people have been hearing about how their vitamins and herbs aren't safe. I don't know, did you hear about that? Like in New York, they went into GNC, Target, Walgreens, and Walmart, and they tested their brands of vitamins and minerals, and also herbs, and found that they didn't have any biologics in there, which means if you were to go in and get a bottle of St. John's wort, and then you check inside for a St. John's wort, they didn't find any. So that's pretty important. And from a medical point of view, if it's not in there, what is in there? And if what is in there, can it hurt you? Because we have no idea what's in there. So Juice Plus whole food is totally safe. It's grown under USDA guidelines, and it's labeled by the FDA. It's tested for bacteria, yeast, mold, herbicides, and chemicals 400 times. So they really check it to make sure there isn't anything on there. It's gluten-free by international standards. It's NSF certified, which is a special international certification where they go into the plant to make sure it's safe to be eating things out of there. And this certification allows Juice Plus to be used by Olympic teams. And right now it's being used by the Austrian and Swiss teams in those countries. Kosher certified. It also is safe for children, where Juice Plus does a big study for the Children's Health Study. It's been giving children Juice Plus, and they're doing really great. It's also safe for pregnant women. They've done studies on that too. It's certified by Consumer Labs for quality. It's been in existence for over 20 years in 20 countries, and it has a money-back guarantee. So today we're going to talk about how important it is to avoid dairy. And there's a little joke right here, and it says, do we want full cloned or semi-cloned milk? Which means that the milk we have now is pretty unrecognizable by our bodies. So let's talk about what is considered dairy, because a lot of people are kind of confused at what dairy is. They think almond milk is dairy. So a dairy product is a product that's produced from an animal. So that would be like from sheep's, goats, and camels and cows. And it usually comes in the form of like milk or cheese, also butter or yogurt, and some desserts like, ice cream. So there's two schools of thought about dairy. So the first school is the medical community. So if you go to your doctor and ask them about dairy, like should I drink it, should I not drink it? Most of the time your doctor will tell you it's okay for you to drink as long as you don't have lactose intolerance or you don't have an allergy. That's what we say in the medical community. But if you check with the biochemists and biologists, here's what they say. They say that drinking milk of another animal is never a good idea. So if you think about it, humans really shouldn't be drinking cow's milk, just like cows probably shouldn't be drinking human milk, and probably a baby calf would starve off of human milk, and maybe we're starving off of cow's milk. So it's not compatible with our biology. In other words, we don't have the enzyme to break down milk. So there isn't just one or two people or a segment of the population that's lactose intolerant. The entire population is lactose intolerant. And so it's not just a few of us, it's really all of us. And we lack the enzymes to break down the products that are inside milk. And one of the enzymes that are particularly bad for us is called casein. And casein is cancer causing. So Dr. Lauren Cordain has done a lot of research on this, and Dr. Colin Campbell. And Dr. Colin Campbell from the China study, a lecture that I went to, said he can tell you when you're going to develop cancer based on how you drink. So really, we should really be thinking about eliminating milk always, all the time, but we're going to ask you to start with 30 days. So why avoid dairy? Because of the negative impact on our body. It's bad for our immune system. It actually causes us not to absorb calcium. So we're thinking it's calcium for us, but it actually helps us not absorb it. It's a hormone disruptor. In other words, it kind of plays around with the hormones in our body. It has an insulin growth factor, which means it's a cancer promoter, and it promotes inflammation. And we now know that all diseases pretty much root in systemic inflammation. So that's why we shouldn't be drinking milk. What's the connection between dairy and disease? Well, the dairy research demonstrates that dairy does not reduce fractures like we think, oh, you should drink milk to make your bones strong. Well, it doesn't make them strong. It's linked to breast cancer and prostate cancer and colon cancer. And even the supplements are not protective. So no, calcium in this form isn't work. What dairy does do is it fattens up baby cows. And there's a lot of research that says that it's contributing to us too. And when you think about it, it is toxic to our system. So when we drink milk or eat cheese, it's going to get stored in our fat tissue. It's acid forming. It disrupts digestion, so it makes it hard to digest your food, and it's directly linked to arthritis as well. So kind of building our case. So is dairy-free a healthier way to eat? Because that's kind of, now we're at dairy-free. Well, it depends on what you eat. So there are some things that are dairy-free that are not healthy. They actually have more sugar, they're processed, they're loaded with chemicals, they have artificial sweeteners, they're more fat. So like a lactose-free milk would not be a healthier option. Just kind of give you an idea of kind of what to think about there. So if we're looking to get calcium in our body, what do we need to eat to get it in there? Because that's what people think, well, if I can't drink milk, well, then what do? My bones are going to crumble down to nothing. All my teeth will fall out. I'll be a big mess. So here's what the things you can eat. Instead of milk, you would use nut and seed milks. Nut and seed milks. So we have like hemp milk and almond milk, and we also have flaxseed milk now, and so those all nut type seeds are all good to drink. Instead of butter, you can use coconut oil or fruit puree. Instead of cheese, you could use tofu, and instead of milk chocolate, you could eat dark chocolate, and you would want to make sure it has, you know, like 80%, 70 to 80% dark chocolate in there. That's what you want to look for. You can eat these foods that are high in calcium. So white beans, canned and fresh salmon, dried figs, kale, like all the dark greens are very high. Black-eyed peas, almonds, oranges, and seaweed. Those are all very high in calcium. So kind of give you an idea that it doesn't necessarily have to be from a milk. So that's the milk. Now we're all made a commitment to be dairy-free for the next 30 days. So now let's think about what else we can do to help ourselves be healthy. So we want to take a look at our digestion, because you want to be sure and digest your foods properly. So this is a little joke. It says, it's good that you're eating more fruits and vegetables, but be careful to chew more thoroughly. So he's like eating like an apple seed, and you grew like a little branch out there. Maybe like my grandmother used to say, potatoes grow out your ears. So what happens during normal digestion? And the reason why I put this little medical in here is because people don't understand like how digestion happens. So a lot of people think digestion happens in the stomach, which really does not. It actually starts in your mouth. And a naturopathic doctor once said, I heard him lecture, he said, just think of your mouth as a little juicer. So by the time the food leaves your mouth, it's supposed to be totally liquid. Which, well, now that I've told you that, you're going to choke the next time you eat. So as you want to because you're going to feel the clump of food go down. But so because really we start digesting our food in our mouth. So if you don't have it all broken down, you can't have it happening. And then it goes down here, down your throat, to your esophagus here, and then it gets to your stomach. So in your stomach, remember, if it's not juiced up top, right, then you missed out on absorbing all the vitamins in your mouth, and then and the nutrients, and you missed out absorbing it as it goes down your esophagus. So now it's in your stomach. So now your stomach has to break it down so that you can absorb it, because you're still not absorbing it. So the stomach puts in some acid to break it all down, and all it's supposed to do is churn your food down, turn it into a liquid, and the job gets hard if you don't chew it up in your mouth. So that means in order to break it down in your stomach, you need enzymes. So enzymes are really important to digestion. And that's why a lot of people experience like belching and burping and bloating, is because they don't have enough enzymes on board to break down their food. And the reason why they don't have enough enzymes is we get enzymes from our food. So you have to eat fruits and vegetables that are loaded with enzymes in order to digest that food. So Now you're probably thinking, wow, I haven't had a single fruit today. So that will create upset as you go. And there's some people think that you only make enough enzymes to last, in theory, your whole life, but we're living so much longer now that we're finding that people are running out of enzymes, especially since from a very young age we're not trained to eat fruits and vegetables. So that's very important. So now it goes through your stomach and now it goes into your intestines. So the lining of your intestines is really absorbs all the vitamins from your food. There's a lot of research out there that says that real health begins in your gut, which is your intestines. And so if you have a problem with constipation, then you can see how this could be problematic because you can't absorb through all of that. So then what happens is the nutrition then ends up getting washed away and you don't get to take full advantage of it, causing more problems. So that's why it's important to eat real food full of enzymes and that it goes through your system and gets fully absorbed. And just so you know, if as a nursing aside, is when you eat, every time you eat, you should be going to the bathroom and pooping, just like a baby. So a baby eats and poops, well, that's what we should be doing. So if you're not going to the bathroom every time after you have a meal, then you probably need to be thinking about eating more fruits and vegetables to make sure you have that happen. So then some people can't spend the whole day in the bathroom. But really, if you're going to the bathroom and all during the day, it's not like a delivery. It's a 5-minute operation. So really, you technically could potentially be spending less time in the bathroom if you were going more frequently. So how long does it take for your food to digest? Because that's important to digestion. So if you drink a juice or water, it takes 20 to 30 minutes. So like a lot of people say, well, I drank all this water and now I'm super full, right? And then I get 20 minutes for starving because it only lasts 20 minutes. Soups and fruits and smoothies last 30 to 45 minutes. And then vegetables 30 to 45. And then grains or starches 2 to 3 hours. So that's why it's important when you eat a meal, you want to have some fruits and vegetables, then you want to have some grains so you don't get hungry as often. And then also know when you're eating a very healthful diet like that, you're going to be hungry more often because you be digesting it more quickly. So that's why it's important to be eating all throughout the day because we don't want you to be hungry. And then beans, poultry or chicken, meat or fish takes 3 or more hours. So that's why we want you to be thinking about going to bed or stop eating after 6 if you're going to bed at 9 o'clock. So if you go to bed at 10, it would be after 7 because you want to let plenty of time to go by because you don't want to be digesting your food while you're sleeping because when you sleep, that's when your body heals itself. So you can't rejuvenate and heal if you're digesting at the same time. So what is indigestion? So a lot of people aren't clear on indigestion. So really the main thing that you need to know about indigestion is it's really an irritation. So there's an irritation going on inside of you that's causing inflammation, and that's what's causing indigestion. So when you're going to treat indigestion, it's not an acid thing. Like we think, oh, or making too much acid, so we need to take an anti-acid. That would not be a remedy. As a matter of fact, if you took an anti-acid for indigestion, you're just going to have indigestion, right? You have to keep taking the anti-acid because the anti-acid's not working because that's not the problem. The problem is you're having inflammation and you need to reduce that. So when you have indigestion, what a really good thing to take would be to eat a fruit or vegetable or some fruit or vegetable product. Like for example, aloe vera juice is really good for indigestion, or organic vinegar is very good. Apple cider vinegar is very good. As those are foods, what you're doing is you're helping the digestion by with the food. So that's very important. So what causes indigestion? So there's two things, there's really a whole list of things that cause indigestion, but things we do can cause it. So when you eat too much, right, or eat too fast, it can you don't chew your food all up, right? So then you're swallowing your food whole, that can cause digestion. If you eat and then go lay down on the couch, you can have indigestion. Or if you get in a lazy boy and hit your back fat, you know, it can have indigestion doing that. It can, if you're eating at irregular times, just like when you have a baby, you want to have them on a schedule where you're feeding them at the same time every day. Well, you do that so their body will be hungry at that time. So when we grow up, our bodies don't change. We have we're the same. Kids don't treat ourselves as good as we do our babies. So we want to train in our body to eat at the same time every day so your body knows to expect that food. And then skipping meals causes indigestion. Also, like emotional things like worrying and anxiety can cause indigestion, nervousness. Smoking also is very bad for the digestion. And a lot of the medications that we take now, people are taking, cause indigestion. So if you're on a medication and you're having a lot of indigestion, you might want to go on the internet and check to see if one of the side effects of your medication is indigestion, because that could be the root of the problem. And you could maybe change that medication. So what foods make it worse? Well, I think pretty much everybody who has indigestion pretty much knows what makes it worse. But some things you may not know, like artificial sweeteners will make it worse. So if you drink diet sodas or use the products with artificial sweeteners, that'll make it worse. Processed foods will make it worse. So, you know, like if you have that frozen pizza, that's probably not going to be helpful. And then spicy foods can make it worse. And also fatty foods or fried foods will make it worse. What foods improve digestion? So if you have indigestion, or even if you don't, you want to make sure you're eating foods that are going to help that be better. So foods that prevent indigestion would be one way to kind of nip it in the bud, would be fruits and vegetables, because that has the enzymes, when we talked about that. Then gluten-free products, because which is wheat. And the reason why you want to get those out is because also it has an enzyme in there that we can't digest. So that's going to cause indigestion. And also our body can't recognize it, so it's going to put it into our little storage area here. Healthy carbs like brown rice will help. And also fish and lean meats also will prevent indigestion. So there are foods that you can eat that soothe your digestion. So if you feel like you have meal and you feel like you need to soothe it, then our fennel tea is really great. Ginger, you can take in a tea. Also, you can take in a capsule, is really great. Peppermint, also the same. Aloe vera, we mentioned. Lemon, like just have lemon in your water, it's really helpful. And then apple cider vinegar. So here's 10 things you can do to improve your digestion. So you know, you can eat a high fiber diet that helps expedite. Remember we talked about it should be going to the bathroom every time you eat. So you want to get that going. You need to make sure your food is all real as opposed to processed. You want to avoid gluten, which is wheat, in your diet. You want to avoid dairy, because dairy also causes indigestion. You want to drink a lot of water, because that helps to flush away the toxins. You want to get a good night's sleep. It's very important, because remember, you want to make sure you've eaten all your food and it's digested before you go to sleep, so that at night your body can repair itself instead of trying to digest the food. You want to work on managing stress. There's a lot of great smartphone apps for that now, stress management apps you can listen to when you lay down to go to sleep. And then you want to try to eat on a schedule. And you'll find is if you put yourself on a schedule for eating, most of the time that kind of takes it away. So this brings us to the transform slide. So the transform slide is a way for us to help you stay on your program for the rest of your life. So we want to help you be on a program that helps you eat healthy, helps you do your 30-day detox challenge, and then have something for you to go on to when you're all done with your challenge. So the Juice Plus company has 3 programs that you can take advantage of. The first program is the Transform 30, which is the 30-day detox challenge. And that's to help you see that there is a direct connection between the foods that you eat and how you feel. That's the whole point. At the end of 30 days, you may decide, oh, I want to go on another 30 days. That's what I did. After you've kind of gotten over the shock of it, you can do it again, because now you realize it really wasn't that hard. You're kind of already in the swing of things. So I did the Transform 30 twice. The first time I did it, I lost 20 pounds. And the second month I did it, I lost another 20 pounds. So it's really a way for you to get healthy weight loss. So then I went to go visit my kids in Florida, and I was there for a month. And so I wasn't really in control of the food that I eat, because you're staying with somebody else. So I went on the program that's a 6-week program called the Total Transformation or Complete Transformation. And what that is, it's just like the Transform 30 program, but it's a little easier. So instead of, you can't have any dairy and meat, we want you to avoid it. So you can actually have some, but not a lot. And also included in the program are the shakes. Remember the protein shake. So the Transform 30 program is 2 shakes a day, and the Complete Transformation is 1 or 2 shakes a day. So it's a little, I find it to be a little easier managed. Then the third program is just like those 2 programs, but easier. So the Healthy Living Rules program is for people who have tried the detox and decided, you know, this is just too radical for me, but I would like to continue with some of the practices. Then maybe have a shake 2 or 3 times a week, you know, works into your schedule, try to eat, make healthier food choices and exercise. And that's more of a lifetime program. So what I call the Transform slide is you actually slide between all programs depending on your lifestyle needs. So you kind of decide, well, this month I want to do the Transform 30, and then the month goes by and you think, well, it's Christmas now. Maybe I'll just do the Healthy Living Rules for the next couple months. So you're always on a program. And the reason why that's important is because that way you never get discouraged, because you're on and off of the program. And then you also maintain not only the weight loss, but you continue to detox and continue to get healthy inside. And there's a book. This is the book. And inside the book is a description of the Transform slide so that you can see how to do it. Is right here is a description. And then also in the book are all 3 programs. So you will have everything you need in here to slide between all 3 programs. Then to help you, I also include this book. This is a book that I wrote on how to have a healthy kitchen. So it's important to have in your kitchen what you need to be healthy. You have to plan ahead. I mean, that's the big thing, is planning. You got to plan for success, right? So in your kitchen, you want to have the right tools and the right foods in your pantry. And there's also a section in here on how to shop in the grocery store, how to find healthy foods in that as well. So you get that. Then also, you get this also. This is the Complete Smoothie book. And it has a bunch of books in here on smoothies, and it uses the Complete smoothie mix, which comes in vanilla and chocolate, and also some other snacks that you can make with it. And along with that comes a Facebook group. So we have a Transform 365 Facebook group that you can join onto and get all kinds of healthy tips and learn about programs such as this. And we also have classes, these classes right here to kind of help support you. Let's see. And also we are videotaping them. So if you want to review the information at a later date, or you want to share it with your friends, the new things that you learned, it'll be available to you. So the learning doesn't just happen here. And we also So we're on a mission to help everyone get healthy. We don't want you to keep it to yourself. We want to help as many people as we can. So this is why we recommend Juice Plus fruit and vegetable blends in the complete, is because we want you to get the maximum results. I mean, if you're gonna make a commitment, you might as well just jump right in and start to make those changes for yourself. So the maximum benefits are, when you take Juice Plus, you reduce the abdominal fat, the fat that's around here. You, when you begin to exercise, you feel more like exercising, and you recover better after exercise. You're not like totally exhausted when you do. Juice Plus improves your skin health. It improves, reduces your sick days. It improves your respiratory system. It helps you to breathe better. It improves your cardiovascular function, improves gum health, and the amount of antioxidants you have in your body. For us, it increases your lean muscle mass, and it decreases your fat mass. So it puts your body in a healthier state. We've had people go on the program and didn't lose any weight, but got smaller. So that's because of the way their body is changing. And then, of course, you increase your weight loss. And we have 32 medical studies to prove that when you take Juice Plus, it makes you healthier. So let's just review kind of what we talked about today. So the first thing we talked about was real food. So it's important now that when you go to the grocery store, you know it's really food. And that Juice Plus is something to help you bridge the gap between what you are eating and what you should be eating. We want you to drink water until your urine is clear. We want you to start adding a little exercise. You don't have to go crazy. Just start adding a little exercise. We want you to eat zero as part of the 30-day challenge if you decide to do that. And also zero dairy if you decide to do the challenge. Because remember, we don't have the enzymes to be able to break those down. So when you eat those things, it's going to increase the fat storage. So we don't want that. We want you to remember to breathe, right? Manage your stress. To get a full night's sleep. We want you to remember to stop eating, we should say, 3 hours before you go to bed, and try to eat on a schedule. We talked about that. And then we want you to balance the food that you eat with the calories you eat with the amount of exercise you're getting. So the next time we meet, which will be next week, we're going to talk about getting a good night's sleep and stress management. That's the next. So if you're wondering how to do that, that's what our next talk is about. So this is a picture of a few of the people in our area that have lost weight and gone through the program. I thought it was important to kind of let you know there are people in our area. It's not area specific. And we have over 40 people now who have all been on the program and are all doing great. This gal right here is Rain, and she did really great. People are a little shy about putting their picture up for other people to see. So we took a picture of her when she started the program, and then 8 weeks later, I grabbed a picture off of Facebook and put it next to her to show her how much weight she has lost. And she was amazed at the difference in her body and how she looked. And in the 8 weeks, she lost 30 pounds. So I think that's really great. And not only the weight loss, but you just feel so much better because you're not carrying around all that toxins. This is Marie, and she went on the program. She's one of our newest graduates, and she lost 20 pounds in the first month. And she feels so much better. She's telling all of her friends about it because it's helped her so much. So, we have actual people here. And then this is Ross, and he's actually been on the Complete Transformation, which is the 1 or 2 shakes a day, for several years now. And he has completely transformed himself in 4 years. He's lost over 100 pounds, and he's been able to keep it off, and he feels great. And then this is Pam, and she's from around here. And she said she loves the program so much of how she feels that she'll never go off of it, that it's made such a huge difference. And then for me, it's been a really great program because I've lost a total of 60 pounds and I didn't even realize that I didn't feel that great. And before I started, I ate pretty healthy to begin with. I already didn't really eat wheat or dairy and ate a lot of fruits and vegetables. But adding in the extra plant protein from the drinks made a huge difference. And that's how I lost the weight on the program. And then eating more on a schedule and eating more food. Because for me, I've had a lifetime of dieting, so I wasn't eating enough food. So then by adding in a lot more healthy calories, I was able to get the weight off. So here we are, we're up to you. So the question is, are you ready for your own success story? So now we're gonna ask you to be thinking about what your goal is. So remember we talked about in the beginning that we wanted you to think about what was the simple change that you could make starting today to help your health be healthier. So we have this form right here, and we would just like you to either write along the bottom or on the back. And it's not a quiz. We're not going to call you in 2 weeks and ask you how you're doing. But just write down what change you want to make right on this little form. Because sometimes when you write things down, they actually happen. So, and it gets in your head, you know what I mean, that you wrote it down. So just write it down there. It's just a kind of a little self-help program. And make sure your name and telephone number and email is on there. And we will be doing our drawing. Is there any questions? Can I help anyone? Good? All good?
All good.
Huh?
I got questions.
Yeah, it's here.
Questions for after the camera's off.
Yeah.
Was off?
Yeah. Is it off?